Good morning, Lynn Christian at SoulSalt. We're going to strong start your morning. We're talking about career reinvention. And we're going to start out by asking you to pick one of these shapes. Which one would you choose? Which one indicates who you sort of maybe identify with? We do that oftentimes just as we finish high school. We either choose a shape and decide we're going to go to school after high school, we're going to go to college or university, we're going to get a certification, and we're going to become a certain thing. And then we spend the rest of our lives playing the shape game. Let's say that you've always believed that you were a star, so you pick the star. In fact, a lot of my clients pick that one. And then you are doomed in your own mind because we condition ourselves and our children to think that the rest of your life you need to take this shape that you are, that you identify with, that you were trained in, that you went to school with, and you have to just find jobs that fit that shape. That's what the world of work often looks like. But that's really not how it actually is. In fact, let me read. If you majored in art, could you see that maybe someday you'd become a cartoonist? Or if you majored in English, could you see that someday you'd become an editor of a major publishing house? Or how about if you were studying psychology? Would it make sense for you to be a psychotherapist? Well, it would make sense, but here's where those people actually ended up. The artist became a special prosecutor for a district attorney's office. The English major became a physiotherapist. And the psychologist became the cartoonist. Now, how is this? Well, it's because in today's world, you're probably going to have at least 3 working identities, if not more. And you're going to probably work in more than one industry. So what it looks like is career reinvention may start here with an idea of who you think you are. So here's a light bulb. You have an idea of who you think you are. And then you have your first experience. Maybe it's a job, and then maybe you have another job, and you go up the ladder, but in the meantime, you volunteered for something, and you found out your heart was really in that. So all the while that you are moving up the ladder in this job, your heart wants to reconnect. So maybe you jump into something else where you have another job, and from that you realize it doesn't pay as much as you'd like. So you go back and you get a certification, and then you have another job. All of these jobs are just bridges to your future. And this is what a career reinvention map can look like. How come? Well, instead of being like the shape game, you are more like this, a bubblegum machine with lots of flavors, lots of options. And what we work on here at SoulSalt, and you can work on yourself, is taking some of those pieces of your identity, what you're good at, what you love doing, things that the market needs, things that you're interested in, and you start molding those together in experimental jobs to find the thing that you're going to land on for 5 to 10 years. And then you may need to reinvent again. Career reinvention is something that happens to most of us. Here's some indicators that you might be experiencing a need for career reinvention. You have emotionally left the job or the occupation that you're in right now, and your body is still going to work there, but it's a piece of you is dying every day. Another indication is if your heart is calling you and saying there's something more you can do, there's something bigger you haven't yet explored. And here's another indication. If you feel like you get up every day and you live somebody else's dream, if you feel like you're doing work for someone else that you wish you could be doing for yourself. So if you have any of those indicators, you may be ready for reinvention. We have some really great news. I just recently interviewed Holly Tuckett, who started out much like the shapes, having an idea, going to school, fulfilling a job, and seeing that something was missing. And she persisted through many jobs until she found that one that fulfills her whole soul. And that is she's a filmmaker, a documentarian. So I invite you to listen to the 2-part interview where we first talk about her story of how she connected the dots to get to where she is today, full of passion, full of energy, full of talent, full of success. And then the second one is where we start to apply some of the strategies that I've alluded to. There are things that we can consistently do with people who are career reinventors to help them go from where they are to where they never dreamed they could be, but they always hoped they could go there. And when you take that journey, you're not a sorry ass stuck in something that feels like it's draining you every day. You're a bold, you're a daring, reinvention badass. If anything sounds like you're interested, go ahead, get an intake form, get a free discovery session, and let's talk about what your reinvention path might look like. Have a great week.